Okay, I know I'm late to this, but I still want to talk about it. Spider-Man freshman year, in my opinion, has huge potential. Let's talk about that. Now, there is some controversy surrounding this show. They introduced Norman Osborn by pictures and new friends, new villains that we haven't seen in the MCU before. So everyone is asking, doesn't this connect to the MCU? They said this was connect to the MCU. But they're throwing us off by showing us all these pictures of these new friends and these new villains we've never seen before. So of course we're going to be confused. But an amazing creator here on YouTube, his name is Amazing PSM, probably Spider-Man. He has some amazing takes, in my opinion, and he always talks about costume designs, and he talks about that, and he makes some incredible costumes. Please go check him out. He is an amazing Spider-Man creator, and he's pretty cool. I like him. But he made a video about Spider-Man freshman year a while back, or I wouldn't say a while back, but it's been a little bit. In that video, he claims, due to Doctor Strange's spell, Spider-Man's backstory could have been tweaked a little bit too, because Strange's spell erases Spider-Man or Peter Parker from everyone's mind, so nobody knows who Peter Parker is. So all the videos and photos of Peter Parker, I assume, vanished. So it kind of makes sense that you kind of rewrite it so it's not too different, but it is different enough. Introducing Norman Osborn instead of Tony Stark recruiting him, it still makes sense because, Tony Stark's a billionaire. Norman Osborn's a billionaire. He has money. He can make a new suit. All that stuff. Sweet. They can introduce all of that and give him a brand new start. That could be the connection to the MCU that we all been looking for and we all need. Let's get a little bit off topic and talk about Norman Osborn. Just by these pictures alone. Oh my god, bro. This man is dripped out. He has waves. He has waves. The thing from the comics that everyone keeps pointing out. He has the waves. The green suit, the black shirt and the green tie. This man is dripped out and I am not complaining. This was such a smart choice to switch his race to give him the signature waves he has in the comics. This is genius. I cannot wait for this show. I am excited. It has potential. You see what I'm talking about now? Just by Norman Osborn alone, this is what you do to tweak the comics just enough so it's still comic accurate, but you do what you need to do to make it comic accurate. The race switch, so give him his signature waves, is genius. I love this choice. I personally can't wait for this show. This show, I've said it a million times, this show has potential, and I can't wait to see it. I just love Spider-Man, so I can't wait to see this show. But let's get back on track now. Let's get back on track. Let's talk about the suits. Let's go on. Let's go on. Getting back on track. The suits they've designed for this Spider-Man show. I'm not a big fan of the homemade suit they decided to go for, because in Homecoming, they made and designed this amazing homemade suit that shows he's just a broke high school kid that has to find just random clothes to piece together a Spider-Man suit, and that's the charm about it. It uses the classic colors, it's pieced together, and it shows Peter Parker's genius with the web shooters he designs and the moving lenses and the goggles. That's really cool. I absolutely love the Homecoming homemade suit, and I don't know why they decided to change it, because they went with another. Don't get me wrong, I love Spider-Man suits where it looks like he pieced it together with just random clothes he could find from his closet, but this just looks to be jeans, a red shirt, and a football jersey over it, and I'm not a big fan of it. I'm gonna try to look over it, just, I won't let it ruin the show, but I'm just not a big fan of it. The classic suit looks awesome. Dare I say, better than the No Way Home classic suit. I really like it. The color scheme, just the bright blue and bright red are perfect for the classic Spider-Man suit. My only criticism for right now is the front logo. They used a recolored back logo, the classic back logo, and that's kind of looks weird. It kind of breaks the consistency from Spider-Man suits. But we haven't seen the back logo yet, so I can't really judge it right now. So we'll just have to wait until there's more pictures of the suit. Now, the 4 suits that are also in this picture of all the Spider-Man suits There's the 3 from when he had an identity crisis in the comics where there was a warrant for his arrest. And he makes different identities so he can still be a superhero. Looking at them, they're designed really well, they're really comic accurate, and I think they look really cool. Their color scheme is great. But people have a valid argument. They're saying, oh, what are they going to do with these suits? Like, this is from when he had an identity crisis. This is not accurate to the timeline or whatever. But again, circling back to the fact, Amazing PSM, in his video, he claims these could just be doodles in his notebook, like when he's designing his first costume. And when you think about it, that makes a lot of sense. They could just be doodles of first costume designs that he wants to make until he finalizes his design and finalizes his superhero identity. That is actually really cool. Like, these could just be little Easter eggs for us, the fans, to point out when we see the show. Oh, like, that's the suit from this one story. That makes a lot of sense. And that's what I want to say about the suits. Like, we shouldn't jump the gun and say, oh, they're breaking the history. Because they're probably, hopefully they're just costume designs, like just little Easter eggs in his notebook, like I said. And that would actually be really cool. Now, in the picture, they also show the future Foundation suits showed in the comics when he becomes a part of the Fantastic Four. The suit looks really cool. It looks really accurate. You know, the spider looks amazing. The classic black and white color scheme, monochromatic. But the suit has a little red band across the waist, and that kind of throws the consistency of the suit off. It's kind of a minor nitpick on my part, but it kind of throws the consistency off, like I said. You have this monochromatic suit that's from the comics. It's really accurate by first glance, monochromatic, black and white. But then you throw a little red into the mix and you throw it off a little bit, and I kind of throws you off. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know why they made that choice. But if I'm right, if Amazing PSM is right about they could just be doodles in the costume, then it wouldn't matter. But that's still a minor nitpick I'd like to point out. It's minor. He's not going to be his main suit, but I'd still like to point that out. Now, talking about the villains, that's a whole nother can of worms. Like, they introduce all these villains that are classic Spider-Man villains, don't get me wrong, but it kind of throws the MCU off because, you know, Mac Gargan, Scorpion, we see him at the end of Homecoming, like the post-credit scene, but we see him here in the show with a Scorpion suit, and it kind of throws it off. But if you think about it, he's never shown in the MCU, so, and the movies in order, Spider-Man shows up in Civil War, has his own movie in No Way Home, and then just comes back in Infinity War. What did he do that whole time from Homecoming to Infinity War? Like, that could be a little time gap where they could squeeze all these villains in and introduce them for the first time. Like, that is actually smart when you think about it. Like, they could tell all the stories that happened, what we didn't see on screen in the movies. That's smart. I hope they do that, and that would actually be really, really genius. Dr. Octopus. Oh my god. That suit. They gave him back the green and yellow suit he's always known for. I can't wait. I'm a sucker for classic comic accurate designs. The bright colors are what makes superheroes. Like, I don't like, the MCU has a trope of over designing and making things realistic. Sure, for Captain America that works. You know, he's a military man. I love his first Avengers suit because it's not afraid to use the colors, and I hate that they've slowly saturated the colors to make him not look like he's wearing a flag on his chest. I love when they use bright colors, and that's what they do for Dr. Octopus, giving him the classic yellow and green suit. Same for Mac Gargan, the bright green Scorpion suit. These costume designs are amazing. Now, some other villains in the picture, I don't know who they are. I'm gonna have to wait to see who they are, or read more about it. I haven't read a lot about it, but we'll just have to wait and see. But the villains look great so far. And if we take in the fact, like, what did Spider-Man do between Homecoming and Infinity War, we could squeeze the villains into that consistency, and that makes sense. So hopefully Hopefully they do this, and that would be smart. And that's what I wanted to say about the villains. I don't have much to say about the villains, but it's still, this is enough. This is my little thing that I wanted to say about the villains. Moving on. The last thing we want to say, we ignore the MCU. Like, if we ignore that this is connected to the MCU, this is like its own Spider-Man story, this has a lot of potential. Like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it really does. Like, it introduces these new villains, these new characters, new superheroes that he can hang out with. So if we ignore the MCU, this could be a really, really good show. And that's my opinion that I want to give out there. Like, if we ignore the MCU, it could be really, really good. We're just gonna have to wait and see what choices they decide to make. And that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about. But yeah, let me know if you are excited as I am for Spider-Man freshman year. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you want to leave a comment. Let me know if you agree with me, because Norman Osborn looks stripped out as fuck.